Hey guys, welcome back to Save Me From Myself podcast with your host Ty June. Today's episode is Save Me From My Love of MJ. So as you know, August 29th, it was Michael Jackson's birthday. And so he would have been 64. And it's just the thought that time has gone by so much and that he's so much of an influence character in the industry, fashion. It's just so much he's left behind and so much he's impacted over the years. And it's crazy how he passed away in 2009 and we're now in 2023 and time has gone by. So in this episode, I just wanted to talk about the influences, the music videos, the artists that have came after, and to just remember him as who he was and say what you want about him, say what you don't like about him. But in this episode, we're going to talk about the iconic, the most influential person on the world, Michael Jackson, the king of pop.
Good Sunday, everybody. Welcome to the Ty June podcast. Well, she might not save me time, she might not save me money, but she might save me from myself. Let's tune on in.
Again, thanks for tuning in. As you can see, I'm in a whole different location. It is Labor Day weekend. I know you guys are out doing your thing. You're at the pool, you're at the park, you got time off. There's no work on Mondays, there's no school. Everyone is holding it down. I hope you're enjoying your time off as much as I am. Today is going to be a PODkit episode. So with everything going on, my birthday is also on the September 5th. Virgo season, yeah, Virgo. It's just appropriate to talk about Michael Jackson also being a Virgo and knowing that a lot of iconic things that he's done. So the way I was introduced to Michael Jackson primarily was my grandparents were moving into their new house and they had CDs. And I know a lot of people, I don't know, everyone had these elaborate CD racks and CD cases. They had like a 3-foot rack clear CD case, and on the side of it had these fish. Like fake fish in like tubes. You plug it in, it will light, the bubbles would rush through it and different colors and everything. And that was their CD rack. So helping them move in, I come across the Michael Jackson's Bad album with the leather outfit and everything. And I'm like, Michael Jackson, what? Bad album? This is so cool. Where'd you get this? The original OG Michael Jackson album. And so I ended up getting it, of course, listening to it. And this is back when they used to put the lyrics inside of the book, inside of the case. And so you could learn songs, learn the lyrics. It helped me learn the lyrics of songs I didn't already know that album. Of course, the top 5 hits are off that album as well. So I wish they still would do that, but I guess no, with lyrics.com, Google, Spotify, everything has the lyrics attached to it now. So, I don't know about you, but all through elementary and middle school, if you wanted to learn lyrics, you would go online, print them out, and then you would learn the song and everything like that. And I remember too, I used to record. I remember one of my other episodes I mentioned always recording the TV with my karaoke machine with cassette tapes from the Dollar Tree. So I would record a song I would like. I remember I recorded something like B5, which, again, they're also influenced by Michael Jackson, Jackson 5. I would record one of their songs and put the mic up. And I remember writing what I heard. I took the time to write the lyrics out by hand because I didn't have the printer option. I didn't have the computer or what have you to print the lyrics out like a lot of people did. So I would listen to the song and read it back to myself and make sure it sounds right. But I do remember one of my teachers, it was the last day of school. She didn't care about anything, the paper, whatever. So me and my friend were the last 2 people for our bus to come. Don't know why, but our bus was so late. So while we were waiting for our bus to come, we ended up printing out all the songs of lyrics of songs that we wanted because like, oh my God, we could take these home during the summer, learn the songs that we like and be able to have them at all times. And so, but yeah, having the lyrics in the CD cases was very clutch back then. But the Bad album was my main introduction to him. So with the birth of the Michael Jackson's Bad album, the Bad song itself, The music video is 18 minutes long, directed by the infamous Martin Scorsese. And we had actors such as Wesley Snipes in this music movie. I wish we still had the attention span then as we do now, because 18-minute music movie is amazing. Michael was infamous for making movie musics. And so it was just a thought, like an 18-minute music video. And the bad song is just great. The transition from the story of his character coming back from school, or and his him progressing through college, and his accolades, and coming back, and his old friends are trying to bring him back into his old habits of robbing people, stealing from people, and things like that. And so, the whole thought was going from that, the transition to the bim, 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 and the slow motion 360 camera from his feet up to his face to show off all the leather, the metal, the pins, the tags, and everything. And then panning over to Wesley and the gang just to see their faces. And iconic, just so smooth, right? And so that's not common anymore, and that's okay. But it's like, that is legacy, that is trademark, that is in stone forever. And as iconic as that was, Michael Jackson was known for making expensive music videos, and Bad Album was around 2.2 million then, which is around $4.6 million now. The choreography was on point. The choreo was amazing. Like, you having your ballet influence, contemporary influence, hip hop influence, jazz. There was everything. There wasn't just hip hop or, the tap or anything. There was a little bit of everything in that song, and it's different because it's not sticking to one genre. Of course, even the notes and the tunes to Bad has a little bit of rock and roll, as well as the hip hop influences and pop all together. Even going to Beat It itself, having the rock and roll undertones as well, mixing with the pop and hip hop mixture as well. But Bad was bad. Oh my God, bad. When bad meant good, and yeah. But that's forever be how I was introduced to Michael Jackson and pulled into it. I'm sure a lot of people would say something more along the lines of like Billie Jean or Beat It or Thriller. But for me, Bad was my first introduction to him. Outside of the Jackson 5 factor, Bad was my introduction to his solo world. And it's just on the point of the Bad album, Smooth Criminal. Smooth Criminal is the best, most outlandish, most captivating, most song music video of all time for me. Um, I don't care. It gives me goosebumps every time I watch it, even though I know it's stemming from the full project, The Moonwalker. But this element, just this alone, is just so amazing. I can watch it, listen to the song. I feel the same way every single time. One of the reasons why I like Smooth Criminal so much, because I know, like, my mom is really into mob and gangster flicks, and so that kind of rubbed off on me. I love the Godfathers, the Scarfaces, the Chicago, those kind of mob films. And of course, as you know, Michael Jackson was influenced by the 1940s and 50s gangsters flicks, the Tommy guns and styles of that, and that did influence Smooth Criminal as a whole. But it's just the way it just came out, and the way he packaged it, and the way he put his signature on it, made it a whole different captivation for a music video like that. And again, another music video is a little longer. Your average song nowadays is about 3 minutes. Most Michael Jackson songs average about 5 to 8 minutes. And so you get all this story just by the dancing and the choreography, the sequencing. And the funny thing about this is that this movie, it was only $500,000 to make. And it makes sense. There's only one set piece here. There's not too expensive to worry about. It's as much as like the Bad album, where it's a little bit longer. You had several set changes, different people involved. And so, yeah, $500,000 on a music video, and forevermore would be instilled in my heart. It's like the suit, the outfit, the iconic pinstripe suit. So it's just the fact that you don't need much. I mean, $500,000 is still a lot, but it's just a point even nowadays, like you don't need that much to make a point in your videos. But Michael was known to be a perfectionist, and he was always wanting to do something, and he wanted to make sure it was right and make sure if he had to do it again, he would do it again. And so he was just that person. And one cool fun fact I ended up learning is that the heartbeat at the beginning of Smooth Criminal is Michael's himself. So just imagine being in the studio, like having a mic to your chest, or go for a run and come back and then get hooked up to have your heartbeat recorded on the album. And so yeah, that's a fun fact. That's heartbeat is legitimate heartbeat of Michael himself starting out the Smooth Criminal. Um, Coin flip, jukebox, leg goes out, eye goes down. Um, that's it. And the thing is, no matter how old you are, you can be 60 or 6. Like, you should know who Michael Jackson is, and you should know some of the moves. Like the most iconic move that was invented was the famous Michael Jackson lean. Apparently, there were these shoes that were invented and patented to where there's a latch on the ground that has this latch on the shoe, enough room for the shoe and the peg to latch into each other so that the lean can be successful. And all I had to do was step back a little bit and you can continue to dance. If you watch it back, I must have done this like 10 times. You can see the peg ever so slightly where Michael's standing, because there's more light exposure there than the background dancers on their pegs, but you could see it a little bit more. I dare you to go back and watch it. Let me know in the comments if you came across it and see the pegs coming out the ground. Those shoes apparently are patent innovated, and so as far as I know, I don't know if the Jackson estate has that invention still, but I don't know who does have it if the patent is expired. But if you want to look into that, I go for it. Who knows how much that patent is costing if it's kind of out as well, or having the ability to create it yourself or make it better with the technology and things we have now. But yeah, iconic Michael Jackson lean, did it on tour, everything. And also my senior year in high school, I ended up performing Billie Jean and Smooth Criminal as my senior year in high school. I was able to recover the Billie Jean performance I did. You can go on my Instagram or Facebook and see that. That was shot on a potato camera in 2011. And I performed Smooth Criminal at a talent show. And I don't know where that is. I don't know if I recorded it or if someone else recorded it. But I was searching through Facebook for hours and hours trying to see if I could find it. But I did the moonwalk. And the way I was able to achieve doing the moonwalk was so weird. I had like these really knockoff Polo Association shoes, and the bottom of the shoes were kind of worn down to like almost like slippery. And then of course, our stage being polished often, it was that plus the stage equals the moonwalk. So yeah, check that out on my Instagram, Ty June, and my Facebook, Ty June. You can find that there. And doing the spins, all that fun stuff. And Smooth Criminal, I have to find that video somewhere, somehow, because that was a great performance. I was known as like Miss Michael Jackson for that time frame because of the dancing and things, because he passed away in 2009. And I graduated in 2011, but this was probably 2010 when I was doing the stuff and writing poems, kind of just an artistic release of losing someone that you really didn't know, but you cared about them as an artist, and then using artistic expression and dancing to kind of express my feelings and let it, let the art know and the people know and the audience know that I was there for it. I was there for it, and it was a part of my identity as a performer and artist as much as anyone else was, for Michael. So. And another song from the album is Liberian Girl. I remember when My mom would blast Liberian Girl. We could have been cleaning the house, in the car, but like Liberian Girl was blasted all the time. And just like the layers of harmonies of the song and the way it just vibrated without really true bass, with the vocals and everything, it was it literally was the best outcome for that song. And for that music video, that music video still gets me every time because being as famous as Michael is, he can call up anybody he wants and like, hey, can you be at Studio 8 between 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.? I'm going to shoot a music video for Liberian Girl and I want you there. That music video had every single famous face you can imagine outside of black and white. And it was the fact of like everyone was there, like, where's Michael? Waiting for Michael to show up. When Michael gets here, let me know. And so it just turns out him having everyone there and recording them in the music video for a music video. And the inception of it was kind of interesting because no one was expecting to be recording. And the fact of them waiting to record a music video ended up being the music video. And so all the candid responses and all the questions and I heard he likes to be in disguises, and it's just a little nitpick at the media there and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's just what you do. Hey, call up all your famous friends, tell them to meet you somewhere, and we're going to shoot a music video, but don't tell them that you already are. And that's a wrap. Michael Jackson did a lot, of course, but of course for me the Bad album was the most iconic and influential for me. And then there was Thriller. Thriller is, if I can't recall, it probably has gotten way higher than this, but it's last time I checked, it was considered double diamond. Um, forget gold, forget platinum. We're talking about double diamond. So Thriller, again, I don't care if you're 6 or 60, you know that music video, you know that song, and you know at least one dance move segment from that music video, right? So Thriller being very iconic. I don't know why I could not remember for some reason his jacket, again, iconic outfit, the black and the red. I thought it was blue and orange. Don't ask me why. It's because I was remembering the female because she was wearing it, and I'm like, I must have crossed the memory in my head of who color was what. But the werewolf scene, still to this day, I remember the the hand growing. So cheesy, but it's so good. And so the whole concept of Thriller was actually going through a lot of controversy back in the day because of they have to put a disclaimer at the beginning, something about, I can't remember what the disclaimer is. You barely ever see the beginning, truly. Something like, we do not condemn or believe in demonic possession or something like that. And so it was having a hard time getting played in other channels outside of MTV because of believing people coming from the dead, and that's cool. And yeah, he couldn't do nothing right? Because he was always in the media, and you're slightly getting issues, even like with Scream Criminal. Oh my God, Michael Jackson's glamorizing mafia and guns and da 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 da. So no big there. But if I'm not mistaken, Thriller was probably $1 million to make, which does make sense and doesn't at the same time. Well, special effects was great. The makeup and the ratted clothes and things like that, and having two outfits, right? You have the normal outfits of everyone, and then the tattered and destroyed versions of the Michael Jackson zombie. Um, and so it's the thought of like $1 million to make Thriller, and you have everything going on. The dancing in there is great, still the spins, and it was, yeah, that was still, I can hear everyone knows it. Play it at the dance, play it at your wedding. You're going to probably most likely play it. And with it being spooky season coming up, you can probably hear it and see it 3 or 10 times more than normal. And so that's how you know spooky season is started, when Thriller starts being on the radio and Thriller starts being on TV and things like that. Are you still listening to the radio? Are you still watching music videos on TV? I'm not, I don't know. The Thriller music video was also shot on 35 millimeter. That was very clever of him, or a good idea, because of the situation. Like, you're in the movie theater, which was also projecting on those old style millimeter cameras anyway. And so then also filming it in 35 millimeter to give it that narrow look anyway, and more scary, and it's kind of darker as well. And so that made it look a lot creepier, like you're watching an old time horror film. So scare and a scare and a scare, and then let me take you home. I want part two. That's so weird. I don't know. I know it's a cliffhanger. It's not supposed to have any more elements after that, but it's just thought of like, how did we get here? um, so Thriller legacy, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, that's going to be still around. And then, of course, I'm going to skip a little bit here, but the next song that I remember that made me remember more, even later, we had like Rock My World. That was a really good, smooth song for the time. Chris Tucker being in the music video, them seeing a cute girl walk by where they're eating, and it turns out she may be wrapped up with some thugs, and he wants to still get her anyway. And then the club gets set on fire, and then they escape, and then they take her with her, and it's like very cheesy, but that one's really cool because the music still grooves. It can work for either generation or either decade, but like, yeah, you rock. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was my next favorite thing to play. And then, of course, Remember the Time, the iconic Egyptian video. I know that's a lot of people's maybe first introduction to him, like younger generation of their introduction to Michael is either Thriller and or um, You Rock My World or Remember the Time, because Remember the Time was a good music video. Eddie Murphy, of course, right? And the Egyptian theme and artistic look to it. Projections of music and music videos have changed, but like his legacy lives on. Michael Jackson was influenced by James Brown, and then Michael Jackson influenced people like Usher, Chris Brown, Beyonce, Sierra, Neo. You can literally kind of just see it and tell. And there's a few interviews you can actually have hearing them saying that Michael Jackson influenced them wanting to be an entertainer or to perform more and get better at the craft because he's the best that ever done it. So this is the bar. Let's get set it there. Do this or don't do it at all. Not my words. And just even knowing like 80s was a great decade, and everyone would probably tell you they wanted a glove or a jacket that Michael Jackson may have had, or some sort of influence he had on fashion. Him wearing the military style jackets with all the bling and the tassels. Fashion had some influence there too. Every music video had some iconic outfit that is always known to this day. And remember growing up liking Little Romeo, and then My Baby came out, and it was sampled from I Want You Back's Jackson 5's I Want You Back. And he would even also tell you that Michael Jackson and his dad were the biggest influences in his life as far as wanting to make music and being an entertainer and so on and so forth. Like many samples were used, and a lot of artists would commend him for his hard work. And this episode was just practically being able to bring up Michael Jackson as a person and what his influences caused throughout all of entertainment. Like I said, he was going to post have been 64 this year, and my prediction is that his legacy and his music and art will live onward forever as like people of like Beethoven and Mozart. I feel like Beethoven was 1700s, late 1700s, so like almost 250 years, and Beethoven and Mozart are still being played to this day. I feel like that can very be something that Michael Jackson would have as well, where his music is going to live on for hundreds and hundreds of years. That's my prediction. I believe it's very, very possible. And of course, like the 80s was a great decade, and a lot of things come from the 80s and reprises or returns that were something from 80 related, and some things get a new modern spin on it. So There's nothing like him, and I really appreciate him, and I know that there's a lot to thank him for. And so, Virgos, re-rule. But thanks for tuning in to this episode where I show you my love and what I enjoy about Michael Jackson and his career, and all the people we had after him that are still around to this day, that are still killing it and still using his likeness and his influence to, project their creativity as well. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. This was one of the pocket episodes, or pocketsodes that I'm coining it as now, where I want to still put up an episode, but don't have as much time as I normally would at an hour, but pocket down to a little bit of a shorter episodes. And of course, let me know any other comments you want in the comments below, any topics that we want to bring up, anything coming up or anything like that, let me know. Follow me on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, X. Ring that bell, subscribe. Well, this is Saving for Myself podcast. You can follow me on social media, SMFM Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And you also follow my personal page, Ty June, on all those platforms as well. You can check out my food recipes. You can check out my workouts. You can see my kickboxing videos and just more random things. My fascination for video games and technology, as you know. And this is Ty June. Thanks for tuning in. You made it to the end. I'll see you next weekend.